What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today 343 just released an update for Halo Infinite. An update that doesn't bring new content to the game right now, but talks about it later. Now, I took a look at all this on stream, but I just read the article like a freaking librarian, so I thought I'd come back with a fresh mindset and actually digest and talk about what they're saying, right? So this is Season 1 Outcomes Report. I've been trying to avoid being overly negative about Infinite because I'm kind of just playing the wait and see game. I don't want to be shitting on the game. I don't want to be getting back into old habits I was in with making Halo 5 content and just being like, why is Halo so bad? Why is it always so bad? You know what I mean? And it's I get why people are frustrated, and I'm frustrated too. I'm just not expressing myself the way I used to. Does that make sense? But I'm getting kind of tired about blog posts that are just talking to me. When are you adding the content? Add it in, let me play it. It just seems 5 months after release, we're just now getting what did we learn from all this? It seems kind of late. But there's a lot of good stuff in here that they talk about, and so it's like a mixed bag. The context for this update is kind of shitty, but what's in it is cool. Since the launch of Halo Infinite, we've been paying close attention to community feedback, addressing what we can in a timely manner, communicating what we're working on, and prioritizing future content and features based on that player input. I have not yet seen this in action. I don't think really anyone has. Addressing what we can in a timely manner. They're going to talk about Ravager buffs, which is a percentage damage increase, and that will somehow take 6 months to do, to tweak the damage that the Ravager does. I don't get that. But it's no matter how negative I am in this video, I want the game to succeed, and I'm sure the rest of you do too, because I love Halo, and this is what we got. So I'll make the best of it, but I'm still going to criticize it. Similar to what we did with our outcomes reports on what we learned from the flights, it's well, at what point does the feedback just not do anything? How much do you have to learn before you're okay, here's the game, and the game is complete and playable? You know what I mean? It just feels like a never-ending process of we're gathering feedback and input. We're taking all this stuff into consideration, but I don't see the fruits of any of that. I don't see the Ravager buff should have happened within 2 weeks after launch. There's stuff like that why is it all being coupled into Season 2? Why can't smaller updates just happen? Wanted to be transparent about the feedback we've received and provide the team's responses to emerging themes in the community. New insights and data gleaned from Season 1 has helped to further refine scope and priority for the team to address moving forward. A lot of this kind of comes across as corpo speak. I don't know how much data you need to gather to understand what people are upset with the game for. I think it's been pretty straightforward and obvious since launch. Since November 15th, we'll only be drilling into what's most important, the feedback. We gather this feedback based on Halo Insiders, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube videos, Twitch streams, and more. Now, here's something I've kind of wanted to rant about for a while. We have been giving you 5 to 6 years worth of feedback after Halo 5. And this is the current predicament we're in. So I ask myself, what good has my feedback been? In all honesty. What good has my feedback been? The millions of views have generated on Halo Infinite videos saying hey, I think this should be changed. Hey, I'd like to see this. Hey, what about that? And the community response within those videos in the comment section, the people agreeing, the views, the likes, the like to dislike ratio. I think there's some truth to what I say, or at least people believe that. What good has it been these last 5 to 6 years if this is the result? This is not meant to cover all the work we have planned for Halo Infinite, nor does it have specific timelines for every item. Well, you can't really give specific timelines on anything now. We still don't have the roadmap. But the TLDR, certain audio changes will be implemented. A new arena map will be added. Yes, I was hoping for 2. 1 is better than nothing. King of the Hill will be added to multiple playlists. Attrition will be added to multiple playlists. Revived players will be able to move immediately after spawning back in. That's a nice quality of life change. Motion tracker will have its outer edge detection enabled, kind of another quality of life. Breaker, new BTB map. Jeff Steitzer returning, yes. Yes, thank you. Don't know why he was ever taken out of Big Team Battle or Warzone, but it's like, it's good that we're reversing poor decisions made years ago. You know what I mean? So we'll get into the meat of this update, right? But first, we'll have another outcomes blog focusing on the live teams areas such as customization, shop, battle pass progression, challenges, events, theater, and observer mode in the near future. Be sure to keep an eye out for it here on Halo Waypoint and give it a read when it lands. So it appears like there's a lot more that's going on and happening, which is great. I love to hear about it. But you know what I like more? Seeing it. Actually, why don't I make my camera a little bit bigger? Here we go. Yeah, I can make my camera bigger. Yay! So this covers accessibility options, which is good. Colorblind, I mean, nothing I was too crazy about, but, you know, good for the people that want it. Again, I don't think much of the audio was really a big problem for me. Shield recharge sounds on opponents is loud, providing too much information as to where players are hiding. Same thing with dynamo grenades, which I think kind of levels the playing field a bit. You don't want competitive situations to be giving you too much information about where the players are based on like, oh, their shield recharge sound or the dynamo grenades. So that's cool. It's fine tuning. So now we're getting into the bread and butter. Feedback. Desire for more arena maps and modes.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Bring attrition back to matchmaking. In attrition, players wanted the ability to move while reviving a fallen teammate. Also being able to unlock the last achievement that has been unobtainable. We, like all of you, want more maps and modes to play and have a list of them we're working on for future releases. For Season 2, we have an updated version of King of the Hill and customs along with being able to set it to a classic version. This implies that there will be more classic versions of the standard modes so that they don't have that extra bit of flair, you know? Capture the flag, a classic version would just have the flag in the same spot for all three captures. I think that's cool. I think that's have that as a rotational playlist. Classic modes. It should have some kind of rotational playlists by now. You'll also see a lot of updates to playlists. Good, I really hope so. Over the season, our goal is to rotate in some new playlists with some fun variants. We've been playtesting a lot lately. Yeah, see, I don't understand why a game as content light as Halo Infinite would even have the issue of like taking a brand new game mode out of the rotation. Like, I don't get it, but, you know, it's good that they're adding it back. And that's the thing, you know, I want to give feedback that is constructive. I just don't want to say like, well, why did you take it out in the first place? I mean, I'll kind of say that, but also be like, yeah, it's good that you're bringing it back. Thank you. Does that make sense? Elimination will be making its debut during Season 2. When the mode lands, it will show up in matchmaking as a rotational playlist and be made available in custom games. Again, like, with a game as content light, like, I don't know, I didn't play the Tactical Ops event, but if they took out the SWAT variants that they put in, like, did they take the SWAT variants out? Feedback, desire for more BTB maps and modes. Yes, desire for Jeff Steitzer to be heard in BTB. We have some great BTB maps going through the arting process at the moment, the longest part of map development. For Season 2, we're dropping Breaker into the mix, which features a giant moving laser that cuts across the center of the map and destroys anything that gets caught in its beam. It's a tighter and faster playing BTB map that feels different than anything we currently have in Infinite. That sounds fucking awesome. Yeah, like, map hazards is a great concept, like turf, I think it is, or no, terminal, the monorail that cuts through the map. I am concerned about the maneuverability of vehicles on a tighter BTB map, but I'll have to wait and see. While we believe in the concept of Commander Argania giving you orders and feedback in your battle training during BTB, one thing that ultimately felt missing was the metal feedback, but it also just didn't feel right having her shout overkill in the same way as Jeff Steitzer. For Season 2, Steitzer is in to call out your metal accolades to keep the hype going. Yes, and again, you know, it was like the same thing with Halo 5, like, why is Palmer taken over for Jeff Steitzer? Like, he's the fucking voice of Halo multiplayer, and he should always be the voice of Halo multiplayer. Stop trying to like replace him or partially replace him. Just have him call out the medals. You know, have whatever side character you want, doing kind of like other stuff if you want, but keep Jeff. Don't fucking forget about him. desire for equal vehicle drops, including asymmetrical modes like Slayer and Total Control. Yes, that would be awesome if vehicles and weapons would be balanced in a arena shooter. Weapon rack spawns are not always symmetrical in BTB, and apparently that was a bug. Feedback in ranked players are reporting teammates are out of their depth. A desire for champion rank. The amount of CSR is bizarre. A reconnect feature. Desire for more player agency to choose experiences. Desire to opt out of crossplay. The ranking system in Infinite, ever since part of that information came out, it's really discouraged me from playing the ranked mode, because when I look at a game like Overwatch or League of Legends, games that I dumped a lot of time into to play the rank and rank up, it was because I wanted to rank up. But the way Infinite's ranked system is designed is it's meant to place you where you're supposed to be, and that's where you stay. To my understanding, I find it better if I get placed far lower than where I'm supposed to be and I work my way up. There's a reason people love the 1 through 50 rank system in Halo 3, because it was just perfect. Everyone started at the same baseline level and you worked your way up. That's the satisfaction of a ranked system. It's not like, okay, you did 10 matches, now you're not moving anywhere. You're staying there. What's the point of all these ranks if everyone just gets placed into Diamond, or the majority of people get placed into Diamond? It just devalues the rank of Diamond. Back when I was hardcore in League, my highest rank was Diamond 4, which constituted approximately 1.8% of all League of Legends players. Like, I was in the top 1.8% of all League players. And that was a point of pride for me. And also the lowest point in my life. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it feels good to rank up. Like, I got placed in low platinum in League and worked my way up to Diamond 4. Like, all the way through platinum. That was a grind. It felt good. And it made me keep playing. Don't just put me where I'm supposed to be and expect me to stay there. It's not fun. It's not satisfying. It doesn't make me want to grind. So it's really a fundamental issue with the ranking system that is personally discouraging me from engaging with it. It's good that they are focused on adding a rejoin feature if you crash or whatever. Player agency, yes, and it's good to let people opt out of crossplay. That should just be an option. It should. Regional server selection, yes, because people in Australia can't find games consistently. So, like, all of this is good stuff, for the most. Custom games in Forge, desire for more adjustable game modes, desire for bug fixes, custom browser, desire for Forge to arrive as soon as possible. 100% extensibility is a core pillar for Halo Infinite, and customs play an important part in this goal to let players make an endless assortment of game modes. Our plan is to continue expanding custom game options over time, and we have an ever-expanding list of custom game options on our backlog we're working through to create more flexibility. I really hope this is the case. This, coupled with the coming launch of Infinite's incredibly powerful Forge mode, will give players infinite possibilities to create new gameplay experiences. Unfortunately, it sounds like customs won't really be playable until Season 3, which is like, damn. Like, that's a long time to be able to play customs. But come Season 3, I'll be hosting some game nights if everything goes smoothly, and hopefully hype will be back on track. Hopefully. We have addressed some custom game bugs for Season 2. They don't list what those are. I hope it's bug fixes that make them playable. Custom game browser is something we are deeply passionate about too, and we're happy to say that the team is in the early stages of production for it. Again, this is like something that's good, but I also have to wonder, like, you have it in MCC. Was MCC like not a testing ground for Infinite? Where did all this stuff go? It broke our hearts not to be able to launch Forge alongside the rest of Infinite. And guys, I really feel for them. I honestly do. If you knew what I knew, or if you've heard what I've heard, what I can say about the current team at Halo Infinite is, to my knowledge, most of them are not responsible for the game's current state. They're responsible for fixing it. As in, somebody else fucked all of this up, and the people, like the developers and the community managers, dude, they're just trying their best. They're honestly just trying their best to fix things and make us happy. That's what I honestly believe. I know there's a whole lot of negativity surrounding Halo Infinite right now, and I don't really feel as negative. I feel more sad because of things that I heard and things that I know about development on Halo Infinite behind the scenes. I'm a lot more pissed than a lot of you are. However, I'm not pissed at the current people at 343 because from my understanding, they're not responsible for the game's current state. That is a management issue that led to Infinite's current state. The people there now are trying to fix it. That's what I honestly believe. AI and chatter, so yeah, it's kind of annoying having like 5 different people talk over the game, so consolidating that between your AI, your other Spartans, Jeff Steitzer and Commander Agnyana. Performance and stability, good stuff, yay, yay, yay. Anti-cheat, let's just shoot all of the cheaters into the sun and hope they burn to death. This is where they talk about networking and desync. There's a whole lot of issues there, and I mean, if you really want to read all about it, I suggest you do. For weapon feedback, Mangler is prominent in high-level gameplay with its one-shot melee combo. Many players find the Ravager Pulse Carbine and Plasma Pistol just bad, and the Commando too, its aiming is weird. I also like this. Some players would like for the Gravity Hammer to have a faster attack that can be activated via the melee action and not deplete ammo. Yes. Too often I've felt the Gravity Hammer is like badass, and I'm in an encounter where I'm in melee range, but the normal swing just takes too long, and it feels like I should have won that fight, but I didn't because the attack is too slow. So giving us a slightly faster attack adds some versatility. Now this is kind of weird because they're basically changing all of the melee damage across all the weapons instead of like just the melee damage on the Mangler. Maybe they have their reasons, but they're keeping separate settings for the battle rifle and ranked, and sometimes this is just like a sticky situation when the same weapon performs in 2 different ways in 2 different modes. But for the most part, it seems like they're addressing most of the complaints around the lesser used weapons, and I hope to see. Dude, if the Pulse Carbine was fun to use, I would love to use that gun. It also says they would like to buff the overshield and the drop wall. I feel like adding that little period of invincibility when you activate the overshield I think that's a good idea. You know, when you picked it up in like Combat Evolved and Halo 2 and 3, you wouldn't take damage until it was fully charged, until it filled up your overshield. And that period was very helpful because you wouldn't just activate it and then like a second later, okay, it's gone. But yeah, if they buff it, I'm down for that. Vehicles, yes, fix the Chopper, fix the Banshee, nerf the Wasp, and make Warthogs and Razorbacks, stable on the ground. That's a big, massive issue for me, is like Warthogs are just so weird. It doesn't say anything about their health, though. I feel like the health of vehicles just overall needs a buff on everything except the Wasp. But making the Chopper a better vehicle, yeah. And, it kind of has to do with the maps, because the Chopper was a vehicle that would just kind of like swoop in and out, and maybe you would like sit back and lock on, and then you'd move and turn out. But right now, it's really just like a vehicle that you kind of don't want to be in. Same thing with the Banshee. I don't think buffing the Banshee's damage is enough, because if you can just crash into the wall 6 times and it blows up anyways, you're still not going to be able to dish out much damage. They're basically going to go in and fine-tune the bounciness and how the Warthogs and Razorbacks and Mongooses stick to the ground to basically make them harder to flip over. Like, they say bounciness is an important part of the Warthog's fun, and I totally agree. Just that fucking wild physics is just, that's what I love about the Warthog. It shouldn't be so easy to flip over that just like turning a corner will flip you over the edge, Desire for increased physic impulses to help with grenade jumping. Feedback. Some players like no player collision, while most would like it to return. Yes, I think everyone would like it to return, because it just makes the game feel real when you can jump on your teammate or jump on an enemy. It's just, instead of just phasing into each other. It's weird. Now, they think no collision helps combat feel cleaner and more natural, but in some ways it's Like, that's a natural part of the frustration. It's like, yeah, you're gonna bump into your teammates because they're there in the game and they're a Spartan and their body isn't just like it. You don't just turn into an invisible void and you warp through your ally because it's a video game and you're supposed to be there, if that makes sense. We also want to include making it an option players can switch on and off in custom games. I love that. Maybe I haven't given enough praise to what's being highlighted in here because it's all good stuff, you know? And I think we should kind of reel back on the doom posting around Halo Infinite. It doesn't address everything. More will be addressed in the future, and there's no guarantee that all of this stuff is going to be fixed perfectly throughout Season 2 or by the start of Season 2. There's still Halo Infinite has an uphill battle, and I'm still a Halo fan, you know? Once Forge drops, I hope that changes the game, and I hope that can create a big swing for the franchise to come back. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video on Actman TV. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the Actman for more awesome content. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This